Are you lighting incense to bring good fortune, or are you unknowingly inviting bad luck into your life? It may sound harmless, but the truth is this: many people burn incense at the wrong times that are considered spiritually off-limits, when their mindset, energy, or surroundings are completely misaligned. Without proper knowledge or intention, rituals are performed incorrectly, and misfortune seems to linger without explanation. I know countless people doing this every day, unaware that they may be leaking their own fortune, disrupting harmony at home, weakening their health, and draining their energy. This video will help you revisit an act that may seem small, but holds profound spiritual significance. And most importantly, do not click away, because at the end of this video, I will show you how to properly perform an incense ritual that can open the path to abundance, clear your inner space, and reconnect you with your most sacred values. Click the like button if you are hoping for a more peaceful life. Leave a comment with something you want to tell yourself in this moment. And make sure to subscribe so you do not miss any upcoming practical feng shui rituals that I will be sharing. Here is a truth that often gets overlooked. Burning incense is not always a good thing if you do it the wrong way, especially when it comes to timing. There are certain moments in a day, a week, or even throughout the year when the universal energy is unstable or chaotic. If you light incense during those times, the smoke not only fails to carry your prayers far, but it can also draw in disordered vibrations, negative energy, and bad luck. What seems like a small gesture can lead to major consequences. Just one stick of incense, lit at the wrong time or with a scattered mind, can throw off the energy of your entire living space. It is like sending an important letter to the wrong address. Not only does it not reach the right place, but it might even land in the wrong hands. I have witnessed many stories firsthand. A woman lights incense after arguing with her husband. Everyone in the house struggles to sleep that night. Another person lights incense during a hot, restless noon, and their business faces one unlucky event after another. These are not just coincidences. They are the result of misaligned energy caused by unaware actions. You may not feel it right away, but energy always moves quietly. And one day, you will look back and realize the first signs of trouble began in those seemingly harmless moments. In the next section, I will reveal 5 specific times when you absolutely should not light incense, so you do not accidentally open the door and let misfortune walk right into your home. To truly understand how something as simple as lighting incense can lead to serious consequences, we need to start with how energy works. In applied spirituality, every action sends out a vibrational signal, like tuning in to a specific radio frequency, and incense smoke is the medium through which that frequency spreads into the space around you. If you burn incense while you are angry, anxious, resentful, or emotionally unstable, that smoke carries those disruptions. It creates a type of static in the air. That energy seeps into every corner of your home, where you live, work, and rest, and slowly alters your luck and environment. One common mistake is lighting incense without any preparation, not cleansing the altar, not calming the mind, just doing it out of habit. That is like knocking on the door of a sacred temple while wearing dirty shoes, disheveled clothes, and chatting on the phone. It is not only disrespectful, but also energetically disruptive. I once met a man who burned incense for his parents during the intense heat of midday, a time when opposing forces of energy clash most aggressively. That same day, he had a minor traffic accident. At first, he thought it was just bad luck, but when we talked more, he admitted that this had happened 3 times, each after a noontime ritual. That is not coincidence. That is a message. Another man shared that every time he argued with his wife, he would light incense at the altar to calm down. But the more he did that, the heavier the atmosphere in the house became, and the more distant the couple grew. Why? Because he was sending mixed signals, asking for peace while his heart was in turmoil. When the vibration does not match, the outcome is reversed. Many people also make the mistake of burning incense late at night, especially after 10 o'clock p.m. This is when the energy of darkness dominates, leading to feelings of coldness, insomnia, or mild psychological unrest. Some people report strange dreams, sleeplessness, or an eerie feeling in the house after late-night incense rituals. And here is another big issue: using chemically scented incense with unknown ingredients. They may smell pleasant, but they are toxic to both the body and the energy field. These synthetic scents create false vibrations, disrupting the signal between humans and the unseen world. If the smoke is impure, your prayer may never reach its destination. So, wrong timing, wrong mindset, wrong materials. When combined, they do more than cancel out your ritual. They may invite discomfort, unease, and declining fortune without you ever realizing why. Another common mistake: lighting incense in a rush. People come home from work, still holding their purse, still on the phone, and they quickly stick a burning incense into the altar just to get it over with. But in spirituality, doing things just to check the box usually leads to one result: checking your luck right out the door. Lighting incense is not just about action, it is about presence. If your mind is not fully present, then the smoke becomes aimless. And when the smoke cannot find its path, the energy in your home gets lost too. Here is something often ignored: burning incense while the house is in chaos, loud arguments, blasting music, the television roaring. Spiritual energy cannot settle into noise. Every angry shout, every impatient movement creates disruptive waves that block sacred energy. If you want your home to be peaceful, you must begin by quieting yourself. Some people light incense hoping to get lucky, maybe to win a lottery or get some numbers. But they do not believe or respect the ritual. When your action is purely materialistic, without gratitude or genuine spiritual connection, what you get in return is nothing more than a cycle of craving and disappointment. Have you ever wondered why some families, nothing flashy, just ordinary, seem to always have good fortune, smooth careers, respectful kids? Sometimes the secret lies in how they honor the small things. They light incense with gratitude, not with demand. They clean the altar with both hands, as if cleansing their own heart. And they understand this. Incense is not about asking, it is about remembering. Remembering where you came from, remembering your ancestors, remembering who you truly are. When you send out gratitude, good energy comes back. It is not magic. It is the law of spiritual alignment. In the next section, I will guide you through a simple yet powerful ritual to transform your living space, even if you have made incense mistakes in the past. If you have ever burned incense the wrong way, do not panic or beat yourself up. Spirituality does not punish, it simply responds. The question is, are you ready to realign? The good news is, doing so is not complicated. Here are ways you can start right at home. 1. Choosing the right moment. It is not just about time, but your state of mind. A good hour is a fine start, but your inner state is what truly determines the outcome. Some people light incense at astrologically perfect times, but if their heart is full of anger, the smoke will not carry blessings. Others may light incense spontaneously, but if it is done with genuine gratitude, the smoke rises light and free. You should also pay close attention to your personal energy cycle. If your mind feels heavy or unfocused, it is better to postpone the ritual until the next day. Forcing yourself into a spiritual act is never as powerful as performing it when your mind is clear and centered. If you live in a noisy city, choose the quietest time of your day. You do not need to wait for some divine hour. What matters is choosing a moment when your heart feels still. Especially if you are lighting incense to pray for someone else, make sure your intention is pure. Do not pray with the goal of manipulating outcomes or seeking personal gain. The energy you begin with will set the tone for the entire ritual. If your mind is unsettled, do not push through. Step back. Meditate for a few minutes, or simply wash your hands with cool water and take 3 deep breaths. Even a short ritual performed with calm presence is more powerful than a long one done with a restless heart. And do not hesitate to create your own sacred time based on your personal rhythm and experience. For some, early morning is the most spiritually connected moment. For others, the quiet of evening helps them center. The key is not the clock, it is your full presence. 2. Choosing incense. It is not just about the smell, but the intention behind it. Each herb has its own spiritual character. Cinnamon, strong and purifying, excellent for clearing old energy, especially in new homes. Agarwood, oud, deeply calming, helps center the mind and connect to higher frequencies. Star anise and ginger revive stagnant spaces and awaken energy that feels dormant. If your home has been through sadness, loss, or prolonged heaviness, start with a mix of cinnamon and mugwort to break through the old energy. Then follow with agarwood to stabilize and rebuild the spiritual field. You can also mix incense types based on the seasons or your emotional state. In winter, use warming scents like cinnamon and ginger. In summer, use lighter ones like jasmine or sandalwood. When feeling emotionally down, use pure agarwood. To refresh your space, try lemongrass, dried orange peel, or mint. Beyond scent, pay attention to the form and material of the incense. Coiled or spiral incense burns longer and suits extended rituals. Short stick incense is ideal for simple daily prayers. If you make incense by hand, do it in silence. Do not allow chaotic music, phone calls, or stressful news to interfere. Incense does not just absorb fragrance, it also absorbs the energy present when it is created. And most importantly, let your intuition choose. If holding a stick of incense brings a feeling of peace, that is a sign you picked the right one. Do not just follow expensive brands or trendy names. What matters most is alignment in energy. 3. The ritual of lighting incense. It does not have to be complicated, just genuine. Before lighting, clean your altar. Wash your hands with warm salt water to purify your body. Sit quietly for a few minutes, breathe slowly, bring your mind into the present. While lighting, offer your prayer from the heart. Do not just recite words out of habit. Avoid talking, multitasking, or holding your phone. If possible, whisper your intentions as if you are having a silent conversation with the universe. After lighting, do not rush away. Sit for a few more minutes. Watch the smoke. Feel. If something stirs within you, do not ignore it. That may be the spiritual response. You can even ask a gentle question in your heart and watch your dreams or feelings over the next few days for an answer. Some people keep a journal after incense rituals. They write down the first thought or image that comes to mind. That fleeting moment may be the message you were meant to receive. 4. Sustaining energy, not through repetition, but through presence. Do not treat incense rituals as something extra in your day. See them as part of your living rhythm. You do not need to make it overly formal. Just be fully present when you do it. Try lighting incense during meaningful transitions, at the start of a new week, while cleaning the house, before an important meeting, or before a big decision. In these moments, the smoke does more than connect to the spiritual world. It helps direct your personal energy. Here is a small tip. If you want to keep your space energetically fresh after a ritual, open a window to let morning sunlight in and place a glass of clean water in that sunlight. Water and light are two anchors that help energy take root in your space. You can also place a cleansing stone, like clear quartz or selenite, near your incense area. Stones absorb residual energy and help keep the flow balanced. Remember this: whatever you send into the smoke will return like a breeze. This is not superstition, it is energy physics at its deepest level. 5. Common mistakes to avoid. Often simple, but frequently overlooked. Do not light incense while you are angry, crying, or right after a heated argument. Do not perform rituals when you are too tired or mentally foggy. Do not use electric lighters. Use matches or candles. Natural fire carries life energy. Do not film or live stream incense rituals. Your attention gets scattered and the connection breaks. Do not place incense too close to fans, air conditioners, or strong airflow. Wind will carry the smoke away too quickly before the energy can settle. 6. A deeper meaning. Incense is not for asking, but for remembering. If you look closely, a stick of incense resembles a human life. It begins with a flame, your will, continues with smoke, your thoughts, and ends with ash, your ego purified. So each time you light incense, let it remind you, live in a way where your inner fire stays lit, but your thoughts do not drift aimlessly. Let incense be a ritual for lighting up your own being. Do not rush. Do not do it just to get it over with. Do it as if it were your last chance to connect with the sacred, and you will see, each wisp of smoke becomes a moment of transformation. When you understand how to light incense the right way, you will realize you do not need to say too much. The smoke says it all. You do not need grand wishes. A calm heart is enough. You do not need lavish offerings. Just a clear intention is enough. And in that stillness, you will recognize you are not just lighting incense, you are lighting up your own inner clarity. You might think lighting a stick of incense is just a habit, something repetitive and simple. But look closely, and you will discover that behind every trail of smoke lies an entire system of symbols and invisible messages where spirit, emotion, and energy intersect. Imagine this. When the flame first touches the incense stick, the wood ignites for a few seconds. That is your initial intention. Then comes the smoke, rising slowly, softly. That is your thought extending into the space around you. Finally, the incense burns out and the ash falls. That is the release, the cleansing of the ego. It is a miniature journey through the human experience. In Eastern traditions, incense smoke is more than just fragrance. It is seen as a bridge between the earthly and the spiritual realms. In some cultures, people believe that if the smoke rises straight up, their prayers are being acknowledged. If the smoke curls tightly or spreads sideways, it may signal that the space is energetically disturbed. In Tibetan practices, incense smoke is regarded as the substance of prayer. They do not always pray with words, they pray with smoke, trusting that the vibrations will reach across dimensions. In Indian Ayurveda philosophy, fragrance is one of the most powerful tools to cleanse the manas, the mind. When the mind is clear, decisions become wiser and emotions feel lighter. In ancient Egypt, incense was burned in temples, not only as an offering to the gods, but also to purify the people entering those spaces. The smoke was considered the soul of the tree, released only when the tree gave its purest essence to reach the heavens. Among Native American communities, the sacred act of smudging, burning sage leaves, and guiding the smoke around the body is used to drive away negative energy and invite in light. They believe smoke is a bridge between the earth and the spiritual world, and that this process momentarily cleanses the soul. In modern spiritual practices, some people burn written notes of grief, anger, or fear, watching them turn to ash. This too is incense, but incense of the mind. It is a ritual of letting go, a symbolic act of transformation for what no longer serves them. And beyond the ritual itself, incense smoke can affect your energy centers, especially the heart chakra, anahata, and the third eye, ajna. When the smoke rises in front of the chest, the heart calms, the energy stabilizes. When it touches the area between your eyebrows, your intuition awakens. That is why where you stand during the ritual matters just as much as what incense you choose. In Japan, the art of kodo, the way of incense, treats the act of smelling incense as a meditative ritual. They do not say, smell the fragrance, but listen to the fragrance, because they believe scent is a message from the invisible world, one that only a quiet heart can hear. In some Vietnamese temples, monks teach that if the smoke splits into 3 separate streams, it is a sign your prayer is being answered. If the smoke swirls and refuses to rise, it is a moment to pause and ask, is my intention pure? Others have witnessed thick spiral smoke dissolve into the air right at the moment they surrendered a negative intention. That is no coincidence. Every action carries energy, and incense smoke is where that energy reveals itself. But perhaps the most profound insight is this: everything carries energy. When we respect the unseen, the seen flows better. Each time you light incense the right way, you are sending a message to the universe. I am present. I am ready to connect. Cleansing the energy around you so life can flow more easily. Rekindling your inner clarity in a world full of noise and dust. So do not light incense just to ask for something. Light it as a way to say thank you, as a reminder, as a ritual that helps realign you when the world feels off balance. In that thin trail of smoke, you may see what you have been missing. In that small flame, you may reignite something much greater within you. Lighting incense is not about changing the world. It is about becoming quiet enough to hear that change approaching. In many ancient cultures, people believe that each plant used in incense invites a specific type of energy. For example, sandalwood was believed to connect you to your ancestors. Bay leaves were used to help free the mind from inner confusion. Choosing the right ingredient was never about the scent, it was about matching the frequency you needed to heal. In some regions of Asia, people believe that if a lost spirit is present, the incense smoke will spiral and linger, signaling that someone needs to offer prayers to help that soul move on. In this way, incense becomes the eye that sees what the physical eyes cannot. Even today, in modern meditation or energy healing centers, burning incense is used as a way to reset a space. Some people share that when they feel lost or out of sync, they light a stick of incense and sit quietly. As the smoke rises, they regain their inner compass, not because incense has magical power, but because in the presence of the smoke, they rediscover themselves. Incense smoke has no fixed shape. It bends to the wind, your breath, and your state of mind. Watching it is like watching the map of your soul. On some days, the smoke is straight and luminous. Those are days of clarity. On others, it drifts and clings. That is when you know it is time to slow down and listen more deeply. Treat the act of lighting incense as a journey, not only into the unseen, but into your own heart. In that journey, every flame, every trail of smoke, every layer of ash becomes a living reminder that small acts done with pure intention can lead to great transformation. Let me tell you the story of Margaret, a 74-year-old woman living in Seattle, who once told me, "I have been lighting incense for 40 years, but it was not until last year that I truly understood what I was doing." She explained that for most of her life, she lit incense every morning out of habit, sometimes in a rush, sometimes without even remembering what she had prayed for. Then, one autumn day, her husband passed away suddenly from a stroke. The house turned cold. The air felt heavier, even though everything inside looked the same. She said, "I had this strange feeling, as if he was still lingering, like he had not yet left." A friend introduced her to a simple ritual: light incense at sunset, say the name of the departed, and gently say goodbye. No pleading, no crying. Just permission. Permission for the soul to move on. Margaret performed the ritual for 7 days straight. On the 4th day, she told me the smoke no longer curled tightly like before. It rose straight up, thin and light like silk. From that day on, her house felt easier to breathe in. She began to light incense with a different mindset, not to ask for anything, but to listen. Not just to check a box, but to connect. "I do not feel lonely anymore," she told me. "It is like someone, or something, is always beside me each time I light the incense. Every day, I write in my notebook, how did the smoke rise today? How did my heart feel?" Margaret is not a superstitious person. She was an English teacher for over 30 years, a logical thinker who deeply loved language. But in the later chapter of her life, she began to sense that some things, though invisible, are profoundly real. Her story is a reminder that rituals are not there to change the world outside, but to adjust the world within. When incense is lit at the right moment, with a sincere heart, it becomes a mirror, one that reflects what has long been hidden from view. And if you have ever lit incense without much thought, try, just once, to pause, take a deep breath, and ask yourself, what am I sending into this smoke? Who knows? You might have a moment like Margaret's, when the smoke is no longer just smoke, but a quiet message of awakening. Sometimes it is not about magic, it is about intention, because when your intention is pure enough, it creates magic on its own. Maybe you do not even remember the last time you lit incense. Maybe you never thought that a trail of smoke could carry such subtle, powerful energy. But if you have stayed with me this far, then I believe something within you has started to look at this ritual with new eyes. Because here is the truth. Everything you touch, everything you burn, everything you plant, and everything you dream carries energy. When you light a stick of incense with gratitude, you are planting the seed of peace within yourself. When you light one in anger, you are feeding chaos into your space without even realizing it. The universe does not listen with ears, it responds through vibration. And incense smoke, simple as it may seem, is one of the clearest ways to send out your signal. I am ready to change. I am ready to connect. I am ready to listen. So the next time you stand before your altar, do not just repeat an old prayer from memory. Pause for a few seconds. Let your heartbeat become your offering. Light the incense, not out of fear, but from a desire to bring light. Have you ever felt something shift after a dream, after lighting incense? If so, share that story in the comments below, because sometimes your story might be the light someone else is looking for. And if you found this message helpful, do not hesitate to click, like, subscribe, and share this video with someone seeking a little peace in a busy world. Because everything you touch, burn, plant, or dream carries meaning. And today, you have planted a seed of meaning in your mind. Keep it, nurture it, let it grow into lasting peace.